Alright people, welcome back to another video in our Mitre-Attack series. So today we are going to try a little bit something new. You will notice in the music, and also what I did this time, I copied all of the stuff before the video so you don't have to watch me copy it. But let's get into it. So we're going to take a look at another simple technique. You might think it's simple, but well, we will see in a moment. So it is create account T1136, and it's those simple rules, or it's those simple things that we want to pay attention to, and they get forgotten oftentimes. So let's get to the introduction page. Today we have Tuesday the 13th of January. As you can see, we have three sub-techniques here, and those are local account, domain account and cloud account. We are going to cover all of those, and further we are going to continue covering these simple techniques before we then get into the deep technical ones. The kill chain step, the tactic here is persistence. As you can see, platforms, it's all platforms where you can create an account. So that's logical. So you have here the software as a service, Windows, Mac OS, Linux operating systems. You have obviously some containers, it's some cloud infrastructure as a service, identity providers. So wherever you can create an account, this is applicable then. Happy to see that we have some contributors here, also from the Microsoft Threat Intelligence Center. That's good. So we can assume high quality content if people are willing to put their name on it, and it is fairly fresh from October last year. Yes, it's 2026 already, so we used to say October this year, but yeah, so far so good. Now let's see what this is all about in the description. So adversaries may create an account to maintain access to victim systems. With a sufficient level of access, creating such accounts may be used to establish secondary credentialed access that do not require persistent remote access tools to be deployed on the system. Okay, let me read it again. With a sufficient level of access, creating such accounts may be used to establish secondary credentialed access. Okay, so just another account that do not require persistent remote access tools to be deployed on the systems. So you don't need remote access tools to be deployed on the system if you are on the system already. Okay. Then accounts may be created on the local system or within a domain or cloud tenant. In cloud environments, adversaries may create accounts that only have access to specific services, which can reduce the chance of detection. Accounts that only have access to specific services. Yeah, you don't want to create a big admin account. As a result, the real admins, they might notice. Yeah, so far so good. Let's get to the procedures then. When it comes to procedures, we have here a couple. So Ukraine electric power attack. So we have read about that quite often. So during 2016, Ukraine electric power attack. So 2016, keep in mind, that's not related to the Russian invasion in Ukraine. That happened in 2022, I think, yes, around 2022. So 2016, there was already some stuff going on in that region of the earth. So added login to a SQL server with, and then this command. Then we have Indrik Spider used WMIC, so that's like a Windows remote tool for administrators. We usually in the SOC we monitor this WMIC a lot. I don't know what MIC stands for. I mean, W is Windows, yes, management interface command or something like this. So this is like for administrators to execute commands, pretty similar to PowerShell. So from the abilities that it has, at least. Yeah, you want to monitor that thing. Lockbit 2.0, that's interesting. So I have a video in production right now specifically for Lockbit 2.0. So it will be out soon. It's a little bit more effort, more slides, more time. But Lockbit, that's as you can see, it says software here, but Lockbit 2.0 might be a software. It's also a hacker group. The name is for both, and it's a Russian-speaking hacker group. There will be a video on that in our Reading the Sources series. It got inspired by the Mitre-Attack series. Salt Typhoon, I never heard of that. There were other typhoons, but not Salt, has created Linux-level users on compromised network devices through modification of etc shadow and etc passvd. So these etc shadow and etc passvd, you want to grab that as a hacker. There you have the password information, so the hashes pretty much. And if they use like old hashes back in the day, MD5, these are unsecure. You could brute force them, but even if you can brute force, you can use rainbow tables to still find the password. You have the hashes, you just need to find the right password, and you can try around on your own system, not on the victim system. On your own system, you can play around with the shadow and passvd file until you find a valid password. What you typically would do as an attacker, you would try common passwords. You would use hello123, password, secret, or whatever, and eventually you will find a common password, and you know that you found it if the hashes match. So that's really a nasty technique. etc shadow, etc passvd, as a SOC employee, you should be aware to monitor these file locations very, very well on the Linux system. It's similar to what Mimikatz does on Windows machines. I just forgot what this file name was on Windows. But Windows has a similar file. If you catch that, it's over too. So, and then Scattered Spider creates new user identities within the compromised organization. Okay, got it. So, interesting procedures. Happy to see some common names here, or some names that I've read in the past already. What about mitigation? So yes, multi-factor authentication. So with the multi-factor, you gotta provide your phone number, you gotta provide a little more detail phone number usually, and a hacker will never give you his phone, but they might. There are these prepaid cell phone setups, and then you don't even have to provide your identity. But so this might be something, but typically they won't go through multi-factor. And now that I'm saying that, I realize that it's very dangerous to think so. Thinking that the hackers will not go through the hurdles of breaching multi-factor. They might. So yeah. But then you have network segmentation. So if you have accounts that are only valid for certain networks, well, at least they don't laterally move easily then. So yeah. To limit access to domain controllers and systems used to create and manage accounts. Yes. So this is also something. So if your domain controller is in a segmented network and deep into the security architecture, you might have a hard time as a hacker to reach that stuff. Then you have operating system configurations. So protect domain controllers by ensuring proper security configuration. So that's a general term. You have like the sys controls or the OWASP. You have like different recommendations that tell you how to do hardening. The buzzword here is hardening when it comes to operating system configuration. And hardening guidelines, they exist. You can, in Germany, it's the BSI who gives out these recommendations. It's the NIST Institute that gives that out too. So CISA, so you find hardening guidelines. Microsoft, obviously, so they give advice on how to secure their own system. So that stuff exists. The first step is to know that you gotta do it. Yes, so then privileged account management. Obviously, so if you have privileged account and you monitor them, you will see if somebody created an account. So far so good. Let's move then to detection strategy. So here they have detection focus event 4720. That's like a Windows. In the Windows world you have these numbers 4720. Adversaries uses built-in OS tools, calls to create local domain accounts for persistence, tools such NetUser, PowerShell, MMC can be used. Detection on event ID 420. Let me Google that real quick. Win ID 4720. User account was created, so let me go to Ultimate Windows Security here real quick and just copy that since we have a little bit of space here. So a user account was created. Unsurprising. And let me then give you also the source. I'm not sure if we covered it already on this channel or not. I might have mentioned it, but Ultimate Windows Security, that's the number one source for me for years now when it comes to Windows IDs. Yes, so that's so far so good. Then adversary invokes user add. Commands, scripts create local users. So password shadow file modifications, you should monitor that, yes. Then adversaries create using DSCL commands. That one I don't know. Or by modifying user plist files. The text includes monitoring plist files. Yeah, so that one I don't know. And then you have Azure AD and Okta, so that's like the cloud environment. And monitor API calls. That's also something that is fairly new, right? So this entire cloud thing is older than the on-premise world, so we gotta get used to these things as well. So and then account creation via cloud service APIs, CLIs, command line interfaces, CLI, application programming interfaces API, monitor via CloudTrail or equivalent audit logs. CloudTrail, yes, very popular these days, very convenient. So far so good. Then let's get to the last step, is references. So we don't have a whole lot here, but again I recognize some names: Cisco Talos, Scissor. So what is Talos doing? Weathering the storm in the midst of a typhoon. Yeah, so I would like to, you're gonna pick a good title for your paper, and I really like how typhoon is obviously Volt Typhoon or Salt Typhoon, whatever they are called. And they did a good job here. It catch my eye. I will read that. And then Scattered Spider, Cybersecurity Advisory, Scattered Spider. That's also pretty good. So the paper on the ransomware Lockbit, it's also from CISA and many more. It's also a cybersecurity advisory there. You might read that as well. Let's mark that down. So far so good. Let me mark it down in such a way that there's a white line between us. Yes. But yeah, so far so good, people. So we have covered this topic. We have an understanding a little bit now about what create account is. We know there are 3 sub-techniques. We know it's in the persistence technique, so it's or in the kill step tactic. Persistence means the attacker is already in your system. So the exploit happened, the delivery phase happened, reconnaissance happens, all of that already happened, and the attacker is in your system. And now you want to create that. You can still detect the adversary at this stage. Likely they didn't do much damage yet. They are still in the phase figuring out how to get a foot into the systems to launch the attack. So catching an attacker here, yes, earlier would be better, but on the other hand, catching it in this phase helps a lot as well. So we know some procedures. Mitigations also available. Detection strategy, yes, monitor certain stuff. Use Ultimate Windows Security when it's about Windows. It will be about Windows oftentimes. Some nice references. So yeah, so then thank you for watching. It was really an interesting topic. We cover the other ones as well. And see you then in the next video when we cover the sub-techniques. Let's finish this off with some nice music, shall we? Goodbye, see you next time.